Good morning, everybody. My name is Bianca, and I'm really glad you could join us today. I decided to discuss a topic that is really close to my heart, and I get asked about it quite often. It's the question of what's the difference between a graphic designer and a brand advocate. And to get into this, I would like to just discuss what design is as a basis. First of all, it's most definitely not a hobby or something that you just do. Taking images from Google Image and putting it in Word and putting some text onto that, and now we are a graphic designer. This is not design, and it's definitely not what being a graphic designer is all about. Graphic designers spend 3 to 5 years studying to get a degree, as much as a lawyer, an advocate, a doctor would study to be proficient in their industries. From there, they need at least 3+ years of experience, whether it be an agency level or working in a printing company, to understand the industry and understand how to present visual content accurately. If we look at the definition of design, it's given as a plan or a drawing, like a drawing of a house, okay, to show the look or the function of a product or a service. Graphic design is defined as the art of putting images and text together. So again, you can't have supplied images and then afterwards slap a bit of text together and you've got a billboard. It doesn't work like that. It's really a plan that involves function and a feeling to it, that all combines into a visual project. Okay. The big difference is being or becoming or using a brand advocate. This is someone that can draw up a plan that has a function and a look and feel. Then they take images and text and combine that all together to formulate a brand message. This message needs to generate positive word of mouth that will in turn generate business for a company. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so designer and a graphic designer uses a plan to put text and images together to sell a product or a service. A brand advocate goes a little bit further, where they have, whether it be a subtle or a direct message linked to that plan, visuals, and that in turn generates business for a company. That being said, can you only use a graphic designer? Can you only use a brand advocate? No, not in my experience. In my experience, you would need both. Depending on the size of your company, you would only have a graphic designer, or you would only have a brand advocate, or you would have a brand advocate and a team of designers. It all depends on how your business and your marketing strategies are put together. That will determine which you would be using. A graphic designer in time can become a brand advocate with enough experience. And when I say enough experience, it would be a graphic designer that's worked in a industry or worked in various industries, built enough experience, at least 10 years of physical, practical experience, and then they can become a brand advocate. Okay, so can a brand advocate be a graphic designer? Yes, of course we can, because we were graphic designers before we gained all the experience and became brand advocates. That's the difference. Okay, so I'd like to run through three main categories or differences between a graphic designer and a brand advocate, and I hope that this would help you understand how to choose which you need to use for your company. Again, there's no right and wrong. It all depends on what you at the end of the day want the outcome to be. Okay, so a graphic designer can be anyone that's either recently or somewhere along the line completed a graphic design course with either a reputable university or private institution. Okay, and they are able to use the software, whether it be CorelDRAW or the Adobe Suite. That doesn't matter what software they use. Okay, it all depends on if they are able to use that software adequately. In other words, be able to present you with something that you can actually physically use. Okay. They also would generally work either for a printing company, they would be a freelancer, or a lot of graphic designers work with a developing company, like a software developing company, website development, app development. Graphic designers generally work in those fields. Okay. A brand advocate would have everything that the graphic designer has that I've just explained, except they would have that added on 10 years of physical experience. A great brand advocate is someone that's worked in various industries. In other words, they've worked for a printing company, they've worked in vehicle signage, they worked in shop signage, they've worked in an agency, they've done magazine layout. So the range of their experience is a lot higher than someone that's worked in a specific industry. But you obviously, if someone specialized in a specific field, then all for it. You don't look at the general practitioner. If you look at a doctor, you don't admire a general practitioner more than a anesthetist because the anesthetist specialized when the GP didn't. It's just different functions, okay? Different experience. Brand advocates also generally won't be freelancers. They would either own their own company, own their own studio, or they would work for a bigger ad agency. The second important difference is on how work is presented to the client. And I'm going to use a logo design as an example to explain this. So a graphic designer would listen over the phone or over the internet on a short brief what you want. In other words, I want a horse, this is my company's name, and it should have a horse on. And then they would look at a few examples of horse logos, and they'll find something and they'll put it together, give you 3 or 4 examples, you choose one, Bob Jackal. So the execution is, I don't want to say simple, but it's usually a one-pager with a bunch of logos on it, sent to you to choose. The understanding about who you are and what your company is about and the products and services would be very limited, because to be honest with you, it doesn't matter. They need to know what's the text, what's the image. Put it together, off you go. Okay. A brand advocate has to go a lot further than that. Okay. Brand advocate has to listen, have a meeting with you and listen, whether it's a Skype meeting or physical meeting at your offices or you go to their offices, that's irrelevant. But they have to listen to you as a business owner. They have to understand your company, understand your products, your services, where you're coming from. What's the target market that you want to reach within the next 5 years? Do you thorough research on what your competitors are busy doing in the market? Only then will they present concepts to you. The concepts will always be accompanied by rationale and visual images so that you as a client can understand the thought process behind the concepts. So the visuals with the rationale should give you a good idea of what this logo is trying to communicate. Again, message coming through. Okay. Then, once the logo has been finalized, the logo will be given in different formats, so that whether you go and do vehicle branding or you embroid or whatever, you will have the right logo formats, so that you don't have to go back to the graphic designer or ask this person to connect with that person to connect with that. You have what you need. And the third most important thing is your brand advocate must present you with a technical specification document. Okay, this would be the font sets that would work when you do a Word document and an Excel spreadsheet and a PowerPoint presentation. What fonts should you be using consistently to keep the brand message consistent? They will give you all the color variations of your brand, of your logo. So if you've got red, black and white, they will give you your logo in a white on black version, a black on white version, a grayscale. What happens if you put your red logo on a red background? What happens if you put your red logo on a black background or on a white background? And then that red, what's the Pantone color? What's the web color? What's the RGB color? What's the CMYK color? So there's a lot of information that needs to be given into it through a document that you know you can use. Okay. And then the third and final differentiating factor between a graphic designer and a brand advocate, and I believe that this is the biggest part that influences people's decision, is the money that you pay. Graphic designers work on quantity. Okay, so they would generally spend a lot less time on your project because they need to push as much business through their doors to make a living. So they can charge less because they're not spending the amount of time a brand advocate would, because they are now putting text and images together and giving that to the client, because that's what you employ them for. Remember, that's what you ask them to do. If you want a brand advocate to look at your brand advocates work on quality, not quantity. So the price difference would be why? Because the amount of time that a brand advocate would spend on a client, understanding, researching, working, is a lot more than a graphic designer would to just put text and images together. Okay, so you need to understand, if you want a logo designed quickly, you don't have a big budget, then you need to go out and find a graphic designer, preferably a freelancer. There's a lot out there that needs the business and they know what they're doing. They can give you what you want. But if you want to build a brand, if you're a company that now exists for 2 to 3 years, you've got a basic logo, but you need to start building a brand. Going to a graphic designer and expecting them to build a brand for you to the level that a brand advocate would, but paying them the fee of a graphic designer, you're not going to get joy. Okay, so you need to know and understand what you as a client want as an outcome, and according to that, budget accurately. I know a lot of brand advocates, including our company, we do payment plans and SLA agreements to help smaller companies build a brand in order to succeed. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Please comment. I'd like to hear your thoughts on your experiences working with graphic designers and brand advocates, and if this makes sense to you, and like and share. Thank you.